Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. Thank you. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 171 days, Ukraine defends itself against the forces of the Russian invasion. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said that every day that Russian forces remain on the territory of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and in the neighboring areas increases the radiation threat to Europe so much that even at the peak moments of the confrontation during the Cold War, this did not happen. He stressed that there should be a robust response to this. Ukrainian diplomats and representatives of partner states will do everything to ensure that the new sanctions against Russia necessarily block the Russian nuclear industry. Zelensky believes that absolutely all officials of the terrorist state, as well as those who helped them in this blackmail operation with nuclear power plant, must be tried by an international court. And every Russian soldier who either shoots at the plant or shoots under the cover of the plant must understand that he is becoming a special target for Ukraine's intelligence, secret service, and army. The president informed that already 16 vessels left Ukrainian ports with grain for 7 countries on 3 different continents. Almost 500,000 tons of agricultural products were on board: corn, wheat, sunflower oil, soybeans, and other goods absolutely necessary for the global market. Zelensky said that this has already made it possible to reduce the severity of the food crisis. The first vessel to be loaded within the framework of the UN World Food Programme has already arrived in Ukraine. It will export grain to Ethiopia, where the situation with hunger is particularly severe. The president stressed that in less than 2 weeks Ukraine managed to export via sea such a volume which is equal to the entire agricultural export by road for July and more than 2/3 of the export by rail for the past months. Volodymyr Zelensky informed about a fierce fighting that continues in Donbas. According to him, the hottest points of the front in this direction remain unchanged: Avdiivka, Marinka, Piske, Bakhmut, and the entire area near it. The president stressed that considering the amount of the military resources sent there, all defenders of Ukraine are simply heroes. The struggle in the south of Ukraine gives good news about the destruction of the forces and means of the Russian army, said the president. The Pentagon highly appreciates the effectiveness of the armed forces of Ukraine in confronting the Russian invaders, reports Novinarnya. Quote, "Just based on how impressive they've been to us in so many different ways, they have found ways to do things that we might not have thought were possible," unquote, the US Department of Defense said on the website. They stated that the recent attack at the Russian airfield in Crimea didn't involve the Army tactical missile system, which the United States has not supplied to Ukraine. Slovakia delivered to Ukraine the first 4 Zuzanna II howitzers, reports Interfax Ukraine. On June 2nd, Ukraine signed a contract with Slovakia for the supply of 8 Zuzanna howitzers. Slovak Defense Minister Jaroslav Nad said that howitzers are in the hands of the Ukrainian armed forces and ready to be deployed in the defense against the Russian aggressors. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces Valery Zaluzhny informed that Ukrainian defenders already defeated a fifth of the Russian units involved in the war in Ukraine, reports Ukrainska Pravda. According to him, active hostilities continue today on 1,300 kilometers of the front. Zaluzhny emphasized the acute need of Ukraine to increase its artillery firepower. The General Staff of Ukraine informs that the enemy actively tries to advance in the Donetsk region, reports Unian. The Russian forces are conducting battle reconnaissance in the Kharkiv region but without success. In the Kherson region, enemy focuses on slowing the advance of the Ukrainian forces. The total combat losses of the Russian troops in Ukraine as of yesterday reached about 43.4 thousand personnel, 1,800 tanks, over 4.1 thousand armored combat vehicles, 978 artillery systems, 233 aircraft, 193 helicopters, and others, reports correspondent. The international rating agencies Fitch Ratings and Standard & Poor's downgraded Ukraine's credit rating from C to restricted default and selective default accordingly, reports Interfax Ukraine. On July 20th, Ukraine proposed to holders of Eurobonds from August 1st to defer all payments on them for 2 years, while maintaining the current rates of return. At the end of this period, interest can be paid immediately or capitalized. Our Patreon supporters get access to a cool new series on wartime life in Ukraine. To join the club, follow the link in the description below. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine. Thank you.